Hey, what's up, YouTube? George here, Trading Futures Live pre-market analysis for today, Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. Let's go ahead and get right into it. We already had the major news in the early morning of the day. We've got FOMC meeting at 2 p.m., but at 8:30, core retail sales month over month and retail sales month over month. Better than expected. The core retail worse than expected, basically flat. The actual retail sales, and didn't have much of a reaction. The reaction today has been off of. Let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. The earnings reports from Target, and right, we had Target earnings huge hit as retailer sells off unwanted inventory. Mixed retail news from Lowe's. Bed Bath and Beyond is rallying, but that's a Reddit meme stock deal going on there. But we got rejected off of the higher time frame supply and the 200 weekly moving or daily moving average that we got here, the SMA. Tested it yesterday and have gotten a strong rejection off in the overnight since about 2-3 a.m. the London session. It's just been coming down quite considerably hard. And again, if we look at the 5-minute, this is 8:30, the news, that's the candle of the news. We had already had a huge rundown, and so not much from the actual news. Again, if we take a look at the markets overnight, they are all down. They are all down quite considerably. They have all retraced any gains from yesterday. Broke yesterday's lows in all four major indexes. Yes, including the Dow down here. And so certainly bearish sentiment right now in the markets. With the markets being down, the VIX is up. Was below 20 yesterday during the move up and is now back above 2054. Crude is essentially flat. Gold is down from yesterday's close, and the dollar has been steadily moving up, especially since the London session. The Asian session was actually down, but since the London session has been pushing up to yesterday's highs here. And so the dollar up is also a reason for the markets to come down. And again, they've been coming down quite considerably. So let's take a look at the charts. Actually, real quick, I wanted to let's refresh this, but they are down now. Dow's down 0.65, 0.88 on the S&P, and 0.95 on the Nasdaq, so almost 1% down on the Nasdaq thus far. And so, yes, bearish sentiment out there. Again, we were up on the week, and now the weekly candle is a little tiny red doji. So didn't quite make it to the trend line here, but certainly could get rejected off of there and come down. We are not going to make any unnecessary assumptions. We are just going to react to what the market is giving us. And so what it is giving us is a rejection off of this 200 SMA that I pointed out yesterday, that I said was in the news recently as a hot topic here on the ES. And so we made it. We broke through yesterday, but we're quickly rejected off of it. And like I said, we've already broken yesterday's lows, and we're trying to test Monday's lows. We're even below the weekly open, so it is we are down now on the week, and we are trapped between the 200 SMA and this 200 EMA, and so that's kind of what I'm going to be looking at. We also have this trend line that it has been respecting. We'll see if that gets broken. Unlikely for it to get broken today. Would have to be quite the red candle. But again, something that we're looking at. We came up into supply. We've had a heck of a bull run here on the daily chart up into this supply, and we'll see if the market wants to take a little breather. Maybe come down and even test these lows, or does it just want to chop around up here for the rest of the week? And so that's going to be why we trade intraday. And so if we go down to the 60-minute, we've got here again the bull run, or the rundown that it's made. Did have a trend line formed here over the last 4 or 5 days since the CPI of last week, essentially. So the last 3 or 4 days, and we did break it in the overnight. It had been respecting it nicely, pushed. I was able to kind of figure out here. You'll see I have a red line up here and this blue line, and this is essentially representing the 200 EMA on the daily chart down here and the 200 SMA on the daily chart up here. And so I wanted to represent that on a lower time frame to just make sure that I have it on here and I'm not forgetting about it. And so really below this SMA, ideally going to be looking to get short. If we break out above again, we'll be looking to get long. Now, after such a strong move down, can we run down further? We absolutely can. We can certainly test Monday's lows. Don't necessarily know if we would get into as far down as Friday, but after such a move, we're going to want to stay patient, and play the trade as it arises, because my scenarios right now, right, we've already had such a strong run. Do I really want to get in on some type of breakout here to the downside? The truth is, not really. I'm not going to be overly aggressive to the downside. The markets are bearish, but my higher time frame, the daily, it's been on quite the run here. So can it pull back up and retest these highs? Absolutely. This time frame, I'm neutral bullish on this time frame. I am bearish on the weekly, right? Still bearish. We need some type of exhaustion, creating a higher low, and then breaking if this wants to be the pivot, right? I want to see it. I need to see some type of pullback, and then it break this pivot, as well as at that point, obviously, that trend line, to make me bullish on this time frame. Until then, bearish. Lower lows, lower highs, on this time frame. But on the daily, I am neutral bullish. We've had a heck of a run. We have broken this zone that I have here and are pulling back. So can this just be the pullback to continue going further? Absolutely. And so this drop in the overnight wasn't very healthy to me. No pullbacks, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red candles in a row. I mean, you'd probably have to go back quite a bit to find 7 red or green candles in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, yes, this could have been 8 if that closed a little bit higher, but not something that happens very often. And so we need some type of, and even this one, right? Even if you consider this to be a green candle, a run up, broke the high, pulled back all the way. So, I mean, there was at least one pullback in these 8 candles to the upside, right? No pullback here. So I would, if I wanted to be short, ideally we would have some type of, let me make this a little bit bigger now. We would ideally open and have some type of pullback. Maybe to that level that I have there before getting rejected off and maybe getting short. right? And then for me to be long, it's going to be somewhat difficult. I'd ideally be looking more for a long down a little bit lower. Maybe let's say it creates a double bottom. It comes straight down. I don't get into any breakout to the downside. And then we start to reject off to where maybe this could be the low of the day, or one of these zones could be the low of the day. We get a retest, right? We hit, let's say it makes it into this zone. We get a retest here, and we start to see signs that the market wants to go up. And so that's more the long that I'm looking at. It's going to be difficult for me to get long, even let's say if it breaks this first zone. I'm not saying that I'm not going to get in long, but it's going to be more difficult for me to want to get long here, because we're coming up into the supply that caused this huge drop. We've got the 200 SMA up here. So up here, I'd be looking first and foremost more for rejections off of these highs to really retest, right? We come up to these highs, test, and maybe we get another retest, and instead of going long here, I'd be looking to go short. Today I'm looking more so to play the ranges than any type of breakouts because of this huge move. I'm not a fan of these huge moves when before the market opens, now it hasn't done the full daily ATR yet. It's only done, let's see here, give me 1 second. So far the ES has done 49 points and the daily ATR is 67, so only about another 18 points to go, right? 18 points from here, we're looking basically at 50, so we're looking at this zone, maybe even this zone. Now, on a trending day, can it double the ATR? Absolutely. Can it do over 100 points and drop way down to here? Absolutely. Likely, I do not think so. And so I'm going to be, because it's already moved that far, I'm going to be looking more to, again, play the ranges. If it pops down into any of these two zones down here, I'm going to potentially be looking to play this as the low of the day to get long. And I'm going to need a solid breakout. I'm going to need one heck of a solid breakout above these highs and above that SMA to get long here. I'm going to want to see a solid breakout, break above the high from yesterday, get deep into this zone, and then maybe pull back to potentially get long. But break above, pull back, have this SMA hold, have these overnight highs hold, this zone basically hold to get long. That's really, I'm looking to get long either way down here or way up here. And I'm looking to get short inside of these highs, and I'm not really looking to get short down here. I would need to get short really only after a pullback. So if it just breaks out, I'm not going to be jumping into anything, hopefully. I want to see a pullback, maybe a retest, so a little pullback here and a retest, or a big pullback and a retest to get short. And I'm looking to get long from any one of these few zones down here. If it makes a strong push down to any of these, especially in the first hour from the open, I'm going to be looking to play these as the lows of the day for a retest to maybe get long and try and take the retracement of this push down. And so those are going to be my if then scenarios for the day today. We'll catch you guys in about 10 minutes. I'm rolling solo again, but we'll catch you guys in about 10 minutes. Thanks for watching.